Are you feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the events happening during this summer break? Do you feel like you're missing something just because so many things are happening at once? Well, worry not, because we are here to give an entire recap of the whole situation happening right now in F1 and what you should expect to happen next according to experts in the Formula One world. So buckle up your seatbelts and get ready for takeoff. Everything started as a domino effect and was all triggered by Sebastian Vettel's retirement announcement. In a 4-minute emotional video on his social media, Seb announced that he wants to pay more attention to his family and other hobbies. Apart from the farewell wishes to the 4-time world champion, people and experts started to speculate who could replace him at Aston Martin. Names like Mick Schumacher and Nico Hülkenberg have emerged, and it was literally all to play for when it comes to Aston Martin. The team, however, managed to sign the 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso, who was expected to sign a deal with Alpine that would make him stay with the French team for 2 more years. Why did Fernando go from a good to a bad performing team? First, Aston Martin has a lot of vision when it comes to 2023, as the team has poached a lot of staff from Red Bull and Mercedes and has built lots of factories and wind tunnels near Silverstone. Second, Alpine weren't ready to offer Alonso 2 secure years with the team, as they had Oscar Piastri sitting on the sidelines and waiting for his opportunity. They used the youngster as a bargaining chip, which later turned back to hit them in their heads. Nobody expected a seat to open in Aston Martin, and Alonso used the opportunity to sign a 3-year deal with the British-based team for $20 million per year. When this happened, Alpine were quick to announce Alonso's replacement, which was Oscar Piastri. But the young Aussie has declined his seat publicly on Twitter, saying that he won't be driving for the team in the 2023 season. This could only mean one thing: Piastri has found himself a seat in another team that would respect him more than Alpine. Why do we think Alpine didn't respect Piastri enough? First, they didn't offer him a seat in 2022. They did that to Alonso. Although the Spaniard is performing on a top level even though he is 41 years old, many believe that Piastri was done dirty by making him sit on the sidelines. After winning F3 and F2 with Alpine backing him up, the team signed him under the condition that he would surely be driving in 2023 for Alpine or an Alpine-affiliated team. Alpine were working on a deal with Williams that would see the 21-year-old Australian drive for Williams, as the British team would take the Renault engines until the 2024 season. This didn't sit well with Alpine, who was shocked by Alonso's decision to join Aston Martin. According to Otmar Safner, Alpine's team principal, the team found out about Alonso's departure from the media. To be fair, that's what they deserve when they don't negotiate their deals on time. Speaking of which, Alpine missed the deadline to announce Piastri as their starting driver for the 2023 season, which was the 31st of July. It's only right for Piastri and Mark Webber, his manager, to seek another spot, and it seems like they found it in McLaren. McLaren are struggling a lot with Daniel Ricciardo's pace, and he is the only reason why the team is fighting with Alpine for the 4th spot in the Constructors' Championship. While Norris has been able to beat regularly both of the Alpine drivers, which was also the case at that last race in the Hungarian GP, and when he scored a podium in Italy earlier this season, Ricciardo was far away from the points. He has scored just 19 out of the 95 points that McLaren currently has, which is very big for an 8-time race winner. Although he won the first race for McLaren after a 10-year break, the Australian hasn't satisfied either him or the team's expectations, according to Zak Brown, McLaren's team principal. But Ricciardo has a deal with McLaren until 2023, which means that it would be nearly impossible to replace him. Notice how he said nearly, meaning that there is one possibility in which Ricciardo would seek $21 million in buyout clause from McLaren. The team would be refunded if Ricciardo was to find another spot in F1 for the next season, but according to reports, the Australian driver wants to sit out the 2023 season and conquer the Mercedes seat from 2024 and beyond, when Hamilton is supposedly retiring from the sport. This is a very hard situation for McLaren because if that is the case, then the investment they pre-made with Piastri would be a very hefty and expensive one. Plus, the team is struggling a lot with their car this season, and according to their technical director James Key, the car is much less versatile now compared to 2021. Even Norris said that he is surprised at how he won the podium in Italy, and that he is currently overperforming the car, so the P5 they have in the Constructors' Championship is a blessing. I don't think you can probably in any way say that the car is made around me. From what I want from the car, it's like the opposite of what it's giving me at the minute. And yeah, I would say the car I have now is completely not what I want for my driving style, and very unsuited for me. It's not a bad thing, it's just what it is, and you have to adapt to it. That's why I feel like I've done a reasonable job this year, adapting to something that's not quite what I want or like. That's one of the improvements I made over the last few years, said Lando Norris. Nevertheless, let's go back to the silly season. In a wild turn of events, rumors have emerged about Gasly's clause in his contract with AlphaTauri that could see him leave the Red Bull next year for a top-performing team in 2023. The only condition that has to be fulfilled is that the potential team that Gasly would choose should be ranked higher than AlphaTauri in the 2022 season. That wouldn't be a problem if he chooses to go to Alpine, but according to Helmut Marko, there isn't a clause that allows Gasly to leave AlphaTauri until the 2024 season. So, who could replace Alonso in Alpine? It seems like the team has lost their hopes to bring Piastri back, as according to the Contract Recognition Board or the CRB, the contract that Piastri has made with McLaren has been declared a legal one. The French-based team was hoping that this wouldn't be the case, and the CRB would rule out in their favor. With this outcome, Otmar Safner has threatened with a lawsuit in the High Court, as he would seek compensation out of Piastri due to the heavy investment that Alpine made in him. Nevertheless, Alpine has to move on and seek another solution in another driver. One driver emerges as a potential candidate, and that is Mick Schumacher. The young German has earned his first career points in Silverstone by finishing P8, followed by his impressive P6 finish in Austria. Nevertheless, it is reported that Binotto isn't satisfied with how Schumacher has progressed in Haas, and he is fighting for his seat. In 2021, Binotto said that Schumacher should aim for a Ferrari seat in 2023. Now that seems like a fairy tale for the German driver. This is why Alpine could use him as a driver next to Ocon, as it is more than clear that the Enstone-based team has put their hopes in the Frenchman as their top-performing driver, even when that wasn't the case in multiple racing events. Mick would jump into much more improved machinery in Alpine from Haas, and he still doesn't have a deal with Alpine for the 2023 season. It is reported that Haas have put a halt on the negotiations with Mick since the Aston Martin spot has been filled, as the team feels like the young German's options have thinned down, meaning that the team would now hold the cards when it comes to the negotiations. After all, it's called the silly season for a reason. Although nothing has officially been declared, rather than Alonso's departure to Aston Martin, there could be some tectonic shakeups in the driver lineups. This is why you need to stay with our channel and follow us for more F1 related content, as we'll unwind events as they keep happening.